Greetings all, I'm Jake S. Weissman, coming to you from my bed. Obviously, there's been a lot of news the past couple of days. You barely need to throw a pebble to get a news article on Tenet. It's been really depressing. As Hillary says, we've been seeing some people's true colors. I probably should have done a video yesterday or the day before, but the whole thing is just kind of bumming me out a little bit. What's bumming me out is everybody acting like it's business as usual. There's a couple of things I'll go over about the Tenet thing. I think it's important you know how to find the news, just the same as I find the news. And a couple of things to keep in mind as you read these articles, because I don't feel like summing them all up. They all kind of boil down to the same couple of things. If you want to know what I'm talking about, follow these simple instructions. Go to Google, type in news, click on the top link. You'll see a mixture of different headlines. If you want to get it narrowed down, click on the entertainment tab. The way they have it set up, all you need to do is find one article based on Tenet, one article that says AMC or movie theaters, and there's a little blue link on the bottom that says see full coverage. It will give you a full swath of what we are looking at. Article after article after article from source after source after source, either quoting the Variety interview that I read to you a couple days ago, which I have very strong opinions about, and talking about the fate of movie theaters, as though this isn't something anyone's needed to think of until now. I'm exhausted. One of the things that's upsetting me the most is theater owners pretending like they've been doing anything for the past 3 months, when really all they've been doing is cleaning and praying to God everything will get back to normal by July. I started making these videos almost a month ago at the end of June. It wasn't going to happen. We knew in March it wasn't going to happen. And these guys are coming out saying, we really thought this was going to be done by July. What's upsetting me is how theater owners are acting like they deserve something, like this industry is any different than any other industry that's gone the way of the blockbuster video. You know, video rental houses were around for 20 years. They were basically there for the first chunk of my lifetime and then completely disappeared, much less my parents' life. They watched video stores come late to the game, blow up, and disappear. And there's a little bit of crying for that, but I don't see how that's any different than the movie theater. Sorry. I know one lasted longer than the other. What I see is a bunch of people that made one of those quote-unquote too big to fail bets. The movies will always be running. They run every single day, 365, rain or shine. Even if it's a bad movie, we can make some sort of money because the movies never stop. And somehow we've run into this reality of 2020 where it stopped. And you can be gambling and have a hot streak for a long time and then just have it stop. And I don't want you to expect me to actually give a fuck. These guys could have been spending the last 3 months, the last 2 years, the last 10 years figuring out how to update their industry, how to reinvigorate the fundamentals of what they do. And now they're going online crying that movie theaters have an existential crisis. You want to know the reality of that? A movie theater is a building. Movie theater cannot have existential crisis. The owners of the movie theaters are having an existential crisis because they thought it was just a funnel of cash. And never once did they think, what happens if people can't actually physically come to our building? Of course they didn't think of it. It's the fundamental logistics of working the movie theater. You need people to come in. And I don't feel bad for Blockbuster because they were offered a chance to buy Netflix. And I'm sure the theaters have had plenty of opportunity and they just keep fighting and fighting streaming. And I don't feel bad for them. And it's fucked up what the lobbyist is saying, what John Fithian of National Association of Theater Owners is saying. He's taking hundreds of thousands, if not millions of lives under his umbrella. He's saying he has science behind him, that it's safer to go to the movies than going to church or going to a restaurant. Right now, it sounds like anything is easier than dining in at a restaurant. There's a local joint, you gotta wear a mask, and they take your temperature before you sit in, and you need to have reservations, and it's a whole rigmarole. Going out to eat is like going to the DMV, and you're supposed to tell me that because it's difficult to go to a restaurant, that it's safe to go to the fucking movies? We're facing a movie screen, and except for the few moments where we remove our masks, where we eat a little bit of popcorn or have a sip of Coca-Cola, it's super, super safe. Fuck you, pal. You're sitting there talking about 150,000 furloughed employees as though you took care of all of them. I have no job. I am jobless. I no longer work at the movie theater. I don't work at the movie theater because I'm part of a management team that refused to reopen because we felt it was super, super unsafe. And the owner of the theater said, I respect that, but I need to open right now. So he found some people that are willing to open as much as they're willing to open. And that's fine, but that doesn't change the fact that it's not particularly safe. Stop telling me it's safer than this. Driving a car is safer than rock climbing. You can still get into accidents. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is why I'm exhausted. My first video I sounded like this. This is my latest video I sound like this. I'm losing my goddamn mind. Fithian, dude, you didn't take care of me. And you got people under your umbrella that are probably not as scientific as you think. And you sound like a fucking lobbyist. And this is what I want you guys to see is these articles, you need to see who's saying what. Because everybody who is asking to open has all of their money wrapped up in this. Oh, HBO Max isn't dropping Tenet. Yeah, because HBO Max does not have $1 billion to give them. Easy as that. The second someone has $1 billion to give them, we're good to go. But we're continuing the gamble because they're expecting it to make that much money. It needs to make that much money to turn. They want a nice, healthy profit. You're not going to invest $250 million into a movie. That's just the budget. That's not including P&A. That's not including all of this cough business that they've had to deal with. That's why they're saying they need to make $800 million to make $0. Then they want the profit. I've heard rumors, allegedly, that they're going to be dropping Tenet internationally at the end of August, which means they're going to have to drop it in the US on Labor Day.
Movie studios are more than willing to release their films on different dates, domestically versus internationally, but I've made it abundantly clear. Due to piracy and spoilers, they're not willing to widen their theatrical release window beyond 2 weeks. Which leads me to believe they're not too keen on the hybrid theatrical VOD release either.
So amongst going to the beach, we're going to pack the fucking theater too. So y'all can see Tenet. I'm so angry. I'm so disappointed. I'm so exhausted. I'm crazy depressed. I'm so depressed I'm sitting in my bed. I made it so I could sit in my bed with the AC on instead of standing up in front of my books without the AC on. They want me to cry for their fucking industry. Like, fuck you guys. I'm sorry for all the cursing, but seriously, fuck you guys. You have no care in the world for anything but your investment. So many lives at risk. For what? You would be blind not to see how the money online never sleeps. You're sitting here suing states to open your shit up. I think it's pretty disgusting, to be perfectly frank with you. If I was willing to put people's lives at risk, I'd still be making money right now. Period. and they want me to cry. The fact of the matter is, 2019 was not a particularly good year for movie theaters. We thought a lot of movies would do a lot better than they did. A couple of them did fine. Most of them underperformed for us. And we looked at the lineup going into 2020 and we said, oh boy, the movie theater industry has some issues coming up. There's nothing that'll bring anyone in. Star Wars is done. Marvel is done. It's up to them to restart the entire franchises. They're so lucky. And the fact is that both of them are going to be restarting the franchise proper on Disney Plus with their Mandalorian and their Marvel shows. So be glad that you got the ending to the Marvel saga. And even as much as everyone hates the Star Wars new trilogy, like, you got an ending to it. But we saw how badly that Star Wars movie did. And we can read the leaves and we can read the wind a little bit. And we thought 2020 was going to be the death of the movie theater anyway. I just thought, pardon the expression, it would be a slow, disease-like death. And instead, it was a far more explicit bullet to the head. Like I said in my first video, there is dates on the tombstone. March 13th through 15th, 2020. Mark it. I was sending text messages that day, saying the exact same thing. And they could have been spending all of this time trying to literally figure out anything. And what they decided to do was polish a turd and hope that movies would come out. So many lives at risk just for money and something completely inconsequential. I've said it a million times. A movie theater is a public place of amusement. Also, fuck that Fithian dude, because most movie theaters have bars, and he's sitting there talking about how terrible bars are for this. So make up your damn mind. And if you took such good care of your employees, why am I sitting here doing this? People are gonna die off because they're watching movies in your theaters, just spouting whatever out loud as though there's zero consequence to your words. I was so shocked reading it that I couldn't even analyze it. I just had to read it out loud, and I will tag it at the end of this video if you are interested in what he had to say, because he paints a real nice picture. And everyone who I've seen that paints a nice picture either has money in the game or has no idea how a movie theater works. You know, people saying it's actually very safe to go to the movies as long as you don't eat or drink anything. Sorry, friend, I actually don't want you coming to the movies if you're not going to buy anything to eat or drink, because then the movie's going to shut down anyway. And I can say that to you right now because I don't have a job. And that's the reality of it. Everyone is showing that they don't give a crap. I can't get over how they could have been spending so much time working on something new to save their industry. That being said, I think I've been in such denial. Technically, I haven't had a job in over a month. But now that there's just absolutely no chance of getting, it's donezo. It's donezo. I'm done. So obviously I've been in some sort of denial about it too. But if they are gambling, they're just kind of doing a shitty job of it. No, I won't be surprised when the New Mutants gets dropped on Disney Plus. No, I'm not surprised I just saw they're dropping Bill and Ted in the theater September 1st concurrently online. No, I'm not saccharine enough to desire this thing that everyone keeps acting. I don't know. I've read some real saccharine articles about going back to the movie theater, and no matter how pretty a portrait they paint, not a goddamn chance. Kudos to the Music Box. Kudos to Richard Roper. I was going to call him Stephen Colbert. I'm glad you watched Interstellar in a room with people and had this magnificent experience. It shouldn't be open. I'm over it. I'm over it. If they decide to drop the release date for Tenet to be Labor Day, ridiculous. It's like they're putting it's like a carrot in front of a horse, man. Oh no, a little bit. Oh no, a little bit. Just a little longer, just a little further, just a little further. Until everyone's out of a job and all ownership switches out. Which I'm not entirely against. John Fithian says that, oh, by the end of this, all the ownership is going to change and theaters will still be alive, but it will be very different. That's right. Fucking A. It will be. Because y'all sat on your ass thinking that if you just cleaned for 3 months, that everything would go back to normal, when obviously shit's not going back to normal. And you're watching Bezos make billions and billions and billions of dollars and just, no, we gotta save the movie theater. We have to save the movie theater. I loved the video stores I worked at. I worked at an independent video store in Vermont. I worked at a Blockbuster. I ran that shit in the ground. I closed it down. And I liked them both. I worked at the Blockbuster in Chicago relatively recently. And I have positive things to say about everything. And I ain't crying about it. Because duh. Because no shit. I won't cry for these guys. I don't feel bad for them. And I'm inclined to tell them to go fuck themselves. So enjoy reading these articles. Paw through them. Oh, Christopher Nolan's best movies. What's the future of movie theaters? What's the deal with China? How are we going to be dropping everything on streaming now? They're all figuring it out. Thank you for taking this journey with me. It's not done, but the fallout is finally proving. It kind of proves that I wasn't entirely old man yelling at cloud. Entirely. I am going to take a break from doing the film stuffs. The news really is exhausting me. I spend all day pawing through it. God love the people that I know that were in the news industry, because I don't know how you keep it up. A lot of people keep a good attitude, and I see a lot of people who read articles that are just getting increasingly angrier and angrier, and I don't blame them. There's a lot of anger in a lot of these articles and a lot of pain and desperation, and it's a true journey into the unknown. I'm really excited about it, but it's scary. A big part of my life is over now, and I'm about to start another huge part of my life. It's all very positive, but no part of my life includes working at a movie theater, because it's obvious to me that I can't wait that long, and I won't wait that long, and I don't think it's very safe. I am going to keep uploading videos. I'm going to write a screenplay. I'm going to do these screenplay diary let's play things. Writing tends to zen me out. It's a cool way to get out of my head, start problem solving. All I ever did when I was a kid to have fun was play pretend and make believe. It's the same thing. I just want to play make believe in my head and stop worrying about current events for a little bit. You know I'll be back if there's a big article, if there's a big to-do, if John Fithian sees this video. John Fithian, if you're watching this video, I just hope you change your tune. There's still time for you to completely change your mind and think about people instead of the industry. But I know you're a lobbyist. I'm also going to keep doing these Video Papa shows, because I have a lot of friends that are in movie theaters, have worked at movie theaters. I'm going to interview Hillary Stroshine, who was a general manager of a movie theater for 8 years, plus worked longer. Oh my God, when you guys hear what she has to say, it's going to be awesome. It'll blow your mind, and there's some angry stuff, but it'll make you laugh. We've been having these conversations for a long, long time, and I'm excited to finally get it out. I'm going to talk to a couple other friends on both sides of production. I would like to have some other people start talking about the news and how it's affecting them, because it's just getting to be a lot. You know, it's a one-man band. I film it, I cut it, I upload it. It's a little bit of to do. And right now I'd rather spend my time writing a screenplay and sharing that with you guys and talking to my friends than scouring headlines literally all day, kind of losing sleep, constantly talking about this stuff. It's become really obsessive. I need a little bit of a break. So much of my life revolves around my love of film, my work at the movie theater, my exploration of pre-production, production, and post. distribution and exhibition, capital C cinema, the future, the past. It's beautiful. Cinema is so young. You can travel down it and get through the entire history so quickly. It takes place all over the world. There's different eras. It's so multifaceted. There's so many different genres. There's so many different approaches. It's been the most fun way. I've spent my entire life thinking about this stuff. And I can guarantee that there is not one person who's in any part of this industry, in anything that I just said, that thought anything like the cough was ever going to happen. It truly was a good bet. These gears keep working no matter what. But unfortunately, we live in the timeline that stopped the gears, and it's time to move forward. Feel sad about it if you want. It's not going to disappear forever. Things are going to change. Thank you so much for your support, Hillary Stroshine. Our conversations are what are these videos. I can't wait to interview you more. There's a lot coming up. Very special thanks to everybody who's kept in touch with me throughout this entire journey. Again, I'm not done. I'm just taking a little break from the film stuff. So thank you, Tom, Luke, Dave, Madison, Mom, Dad, Jane, Robin, Noah, Jack, and everybody else that I've forgotten. I love you. Thank you for keeping in touch with me and letting me know that you care about me by sending me stuff that I care about. Thank you for agreeing and for disagreeing with me. It means a lot, and I need to have this conversation. Because obviously I'm a bit obsessive about it, and it's never good just to let something roll around in one's head. The movie of the episode, find something from when you were a kid that makes you happy. We just watched the entire Poltergeist trilogy, and it's really, really good. They say more in one Poltergeist movie than they do in the entire Paranormal Activity series, and that's like 6 movies. So for all intents and purposes, Poltergeist, but also, man, if a Mel Brooks movie makes you laugh, if an Adam Sandler movie makes you laugh, if a Bette Midler movie makes you laugh, anything that brings you that kind of joy, just pop it in, man. The book of the episode, I'm beyond thrilled. This just came in the mail a couple hours ago. Antkind by Charlie Kaufman. I haven't read it yet, obviously. It's a 700-page book by Charlie Kaufman, so I cannot wait to read it. I suspect it'll be a Confederacy of Dunces meets Synecdoche kind of a thing, and I don't know if it's going to be as deep or as accessible as Infinite Jest, but boy, am I looking forward to it. The same as writing, I cannot wait to get out of my own head and into Charlie Kaufman's, because that's a mess in there. The song of the episode, same thing as the movie. Anything you used to love as a kid. Today I listened to a bunch of Blink-182 and a bunch of Beatles. I actually listened to side A of Abbey Road. So make of that what you will. Something that roots you, something that grounds you. I've been listening to a lot of Beatles and Neil Young. Just something that makes you feel good. Some Weird Al, some Ninja Sex Party. I don't care. Taylor Swift is dropping a new album tonight too, so have a great time with that. I'm sure by the time this video comes out, you'll already be able to get it, so rock and roll with that. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to start writing. I'm really excited to interview some people and talk less and listen more. Again, thank you all so much for being on this journey, and I'll be back real soon. I'm sure you'll see a headline where you say, oh, Jake's gonna do a thing on that. All right.
While producing this video, Disney announced Mulan will be delayed indefinitely. There is officially no summer movie season of 2020.
Now let's forget our troubles with a big bowl of strawberry ice cream.
Now let's forget our troubles with a big bowl of strawberry ice cream.